Alright, let's talk up Iron Lady Ashley here.
Oh, before I go, you said you're serving with Commander Shepard now? We saw him on the news here. He's cute. Later, Sid.
Tell me you didn't hear that.
Afraid I did.
Great idea.
Shoot me now. One of my sisters. That's Sarah, the youngest. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on Family Mail.
Your family seems to be important to you.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I made Chief. First thing he did was salute.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school. With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
That's funny.
I was an only child, but I get the idea. At least one of my parents was always on duty.
Yeah, military families, eh? With schedules like that, it's a wonder we ever have kids anymore. Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself a boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike. I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vid mails, and I'd tell her to relax.
Where were you when this was going on?
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was assigned to Chernobog. Same cluster, but a dozen LY away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency. I couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
Sounds like that situation didn't last.
Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense. I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
Self-defense, all of them.
Every
You
single
said all
one.
of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice, but didn't like it. She's kind of nervous. Sarah took Aikido. Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into. They do great things to her figure, though.
That last one. Yeah, swords.
Of course.
Swords.
So, what did you learn?
One of Dad's friends taught me Marine hand to hand.
Nice.
You traveled all the way home to walk your sister to school.
It was only a dozen light years, like a day's cruise. It's not like I was going to Earth or something. My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her. I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk, and there's blood everywhere.
That's unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
Better. I'm more or less a straight-up puncher. When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was gonna end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying. And she hugged him. The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
Where was your father during this? Wasn't your family stationed near him?
Dad always wanted to serve in space. But he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
Tennyson, right?
I didn't know you liked classical literature.
Ulysses was my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it. He had a dozen versions when he retired.
It's a good piece.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I go home. Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though. So behave.
You mean from wherever we go after death?
Dead on, Skipper. He's with God now. That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
Everyone has the right to believe what they want. Says so in the Alliance Charter. Only with fancier words.
I'm glad you're open-minded about it. I've met a few people who are really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez.
It's interesting to think about.
Hello, have you people looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something? I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
We'll talk later, Williams.
Looking forward to it, Skipper.
So yeah, she is tough. Tough as iron, and that's why I refer to her as the Iron Lady. Because she does not care who you are. She is gonna say what she thinks when she thinks it.
Wow.
Very decisive.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, she has a lot of character in her. All these people do. Honestly, you just have to dig at it a little bit.
She's like, I'm a Christian and I don't care what people say about it.
Mm-hmm. I am these things. I have these opinions. I
If you don't
believe
like
in
me,
them.
If you
Deal
don't like
with
me,
it.
that's what,
Yeah, exactly. And she has the force of will and the firearms to do it. I mean, just look at her.
Absolutely.
She's maintaining all of the weapons right now.
Exactly. She's probably cleaned every single one, dismantled it, remantled it.
Oh yeah, no, she knows.
Oh yeah.
So let's
I
talk
like
to
her,
the
she's cool.
mercenary.
What do you want, Shepard?
Why did you become a mercenary?
Lots of reasons.
Such as?
Such as, I needed to get out of our system. I needed to eat. I needed to survive.
I've only been a mercenary.
I've always been a mercenary.
Only mercenary.
Forever a mercenary.
I was born a mercenary. I
Came
was
out the
born
womb a mercenary.
I was born with an eye patch.
Yes.
Your character.
Essentially. For those
Why not
that
stay
have
and
seen our
help your
D&D
people?
sessions.
I tried to help. That's why I had to leave.
What happened?
I was betrayed. I was head of a small tribe. We were trying to restore order after the war, but the other tribes were against us. They followed Jared, one of the few warlords who survived the war with the Turians. But he was old, and so were his ideas. He wanted to continue the war. He wanted us to fight. Turians, Solarians, each other. It didn't matter who, as long as we were fighting.
What did you want?
I just wanted Jared to shut up, to stop his ranting. I wanted him to stop leading the tribes astray. But he couldn't understand how much things had changed. We didn't have the numbers to go to war. Even if we did, the genophage made sure we couldn't replenish our numbers fast enough. I told them all to forget about war. We needed to focus on breeding, at least for one generation. And for a while, we were getting through. Some of the tribes started coming around.
I take it the warlord didn't appreciate that.
No, he didn't. He arranged a crush with the tribes, a meeting on neutral ground. He wanted to talk. We met at the Hollows. near the graves of our ancestors. The skulls of our dead laid bare to remind us where we come from and where we all go. It's as sacred as any Krogan place can be. Violence is forbidden.
It sounds like a trap to me. You must have suspected as much.
I did. But when your father invites you to a crush, well, there are some laws that even we hold sacred.
Jared was your father?
He was. Until that day. We talked, but we didn't get anywhere. When it was clear that I wouldn't join him, he gave the signal.
Then I had to
His
kill him.
men leapt from the graves of our ancestors like Krogan undead. The few that were loyal to me died quickly. I escaped with my life, but not before
Yep,
I
knew it.
sank my dagger deep into my father's chest.
I have the mind of a mercenary
That
from
is
Oz.
why I left.
I
And
already
that's
knew.
why I'll never go back.
I was like, and then I killed him.
And then I killed him.
And sure enough,
I had to
I
kill my
left,
own
but
father.
not before I stabbed my dagger in my father's back. Yep. Mercenary. That's it.
It's too cliched. I love the dude. He gets a lot more interesting in later games, by the way. But it's just
sure.
like, dude, so much edge.
I mean, this is what Oz is on base level. Like,
Yeah.
if you look at him, that's basically like his personality on a base level. Of course, it goes deeper, but like, yeah, that's all. That's all I was able to predict it so
Yeah.
easily.
No, it's like it's cookie cutter.
Yeah.
All of these characters are cookie cutter, but this is the beginning. This is where their starting point is.
Yeah. So they're 100% going to be full cookie cutter until like later on.
Yeah, like they're all archetypes of something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the
Always been
rebellious cop, the maverick cop. Then we have the girl that's on a pilgrimage, you know, like, I need to, like, you know, explore the world because this is the first time I'm ever doing this. You have the scientist who only knows books and doesn't really know how to interact on a social level with people.
Uh-huh.
You have the military professional, the one that has a family back home, comes from a long line of, you know, people that have always been in space or the Navy or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the dude that has the mystic powers that's always been treated kind of weird. Like, all these characters are archetypes.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, it's like, this is their starting point. Anyways, let's talk about his family a little bit.
You must have
Okay.
family other than your father. Don't you miss them?
You're trying to make me cry, Shepard. I've got some unfinished business with my family, but that's all.
Yeah, I didn't murder them yet.
What kind of business?
Before I left, I made an oath to my father's father. I swore to recover my family's battle armor. It was taken from him after the uprising.
What's so important about this armor?
It's a relic. Useless, really. But it was worn by 5 generations of my family before the war.
It's rightfully
mine.
mine.
Originally, it was taken by the Turian military. We weren't allowed armor or weapons after the war. Now,
Hexblade
it's
is
in the
needed.
hands of Ton Actus, a Turian scum who collects relics from the war. He's made millions selling Krogan artifacts that were stolen from my people. He's got several bases where he stores his goods, all fortified and guarded. I just don't know which base has my family's armor.
I would like to point out that Krogan lived for, I think, around 500 years.
Wow.
So when he says 5 generations of his family wore this armor, that's like, what, 10,000
I was
years?
about to say, it's been around for thousands of years.
It's been around for thousands of years.
That's insane.
And it's supposed to be his.
Wow.
Yeah. This is ancient armor.
I see.
Yes. And
Hopefully
also,
he gets
new
it.
quest.
Just tell me where to start looking.
I'll
Oh.
upload the data to your nav system. But Commander, I want to be there when you find him.
Another loyalty mission.
Mm-hmm.
So long, Rex.